Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are going to be creating a texture bowl out of clay. We're going to start with a flat piece of clay called a slab. We're going to add texture to this slab using one of these texture plates. Remember, a slab is a flat pancake of clay. You're going to flip your slab over onto your texture plate, and then you're going to use a roller to roll your slab over the texture plate. You don't want to press so hard that you smush the clay thin like a potato chip. You want to press just enough so that the texture is going to imprint or show up onto your clay slab. Please roll in all directions. You do not want your clay any thinner than a pencil thick. Please make sure that your clay doesn't get as thin as a potato chip. You definitely want your clay to be as thick as a pencil. So don't over-roll. Be gentle when you roll your clay. Then you can smooth it out with a wooden or a rubber rib if you have any imperfections. Afterwards, what you're going to do is carefully and gently peel off your slab of clay from your texture plate. Gently take your slab off of your texture plate. Voila! Your texture has gone onto your clay slab. Now we're going to take a bowl as a tracer to measure, and we are going to cut out our slab. So I'm going to use my wooden stick tool, pressing all the way down to the table and go around the bowl. Then you can crumple up your extra clay, making sure you do that so that that clay stays moist. You're going to take off your bowl and then smooth these rough edges out with your finger and a tiny bit of water on your fingertip. You don't need a lot of water. Please make sure that your clay isn't a pool of water. You just need a tiny bit to smooth out the edges. With clay, there's something called a slump mold. That's when you put something inside of a mold. So this bowl would be a slump mold if I put my clay inside of the bowl, because it is slumping into the mold. Then the opposite of that would be a hump mold. Think of like a camel's hump. You're going over the top of your mold. That is called a hump mold. We're going to use a hump mold like a camel's back today to create our bowl. Then you're going to press your clay onto the mold. You decide if you want your texture to be the outside of your bowl, like this, or if you want it to be the inside. I suggest having it as the outside so that when you press your slab onto your mold, it doesn't get rid of the texture. You're going to gently press and turn all the way around until your slab of clay is shaped nicely onto your bowl. Keep gently pressing and turning until your slab takes the shape of the bowl. Now, if you would like to, you can add some feet. You don't have to do this step, but if you want your bowl to have a little more height, you absolutely can. Remember, every time you add clay to clay, you must scratch and attach. So any shape of feet that you add, you want to make sure that each time you scratch and attach. That is the glue of clay. You'll scratch both where you're adding your clay and what you are adding on. Put a little bit of water on it with your fingertip and then press them together. Here it is, up close, in case you need to see it more clearly. I'm going to add this ball of clay. First, I'm going to scratch what I'm attaching, and then I'm going to scratch where I am adding it. Please crisscross your scratches, kind of like a tic-tac-toe or a checkerboard. Then you're going to just gently dab on some water and gently press them together. If you added feet, I want you to gently and carefully flip your bowl over and make sure that those feet are flat on the table. Then you're going to put a name tag on. Please make sure that you write your name very carefully so that I can read it. This is the only way that I will know whose bowl is whose and for you to get yours back.